It is not correct. I have always told them, we'll get the GSP. I offered to go there. They said no. But remember, the condition of GSP can be found on the website.
Yeah. So these are not strange...
we have to impose the ICC, we have to implement the ICCPR, which we were doing earlier.
And this was there when we signed up?
It was there when I started negotiating, it was there when Chandrika signed it.
Yeah.
So not only me, when she said, you've got to get the ICCPR.
Yeah.
You can't go there and say, give it because Mahinda Rajapaksa is there.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. And I warned them. Even in May last year, I told the president when I rang him, when I heard the army had captured Mullaitivu, I said, look, don't fight with them. Sort this out.
Yeah.
If they can't sort it out, what can I do? For 1 year, I have not even gone anywhere there. Now, can you blame me for what has happened? I haven't had even time to be talking to them. You have to get the GSP plus. They played around thinking that they could force the Europeans to agree with them. That's not happening. It shows that their foreign policy has failed.
The second charge, and one equally serious, and one that has stuck on, endured in that sense, is the fact that some people find that the UNF during the ceasefire time appeased the LTTE, gave the LTTE succour and legitimacy, conferred legitimacy to them, allowed them, for example, access to Colombo, set up whatever the infrastructure for future for a future military offensive. Again, you're no stranger to this, but I mean, for the record, how would you respond to that charge?
If that is correct, Prabhakaran and Balasingham would not have called me a cunning fox and said, we want to do away with the UNP. He said, they call this a peace trap. So, unfortunately, they're not among the living. To ask them that, yes, they came to Colombo, they saw what was happening, and some of them felt, look, this is the way to go. They saw the world. They didn't see the world early. They saw the world. Certainly, we kept tab of them. Because we kept tab of them, there were no any major incidents thereafter, or
in what sense, Mr. Wickramasinghe?
Up to 2004,
right.
There were no major incidents. Intelligence had the information. Why did people start coming? They started coming much later when you had to lift the restrictions after tsunami. But still, having shouted all this, where are the anti-aircraft missiles they are supposed to have purchased in our time? The weaponry that they couldn't bring it in. We didn't allow their ships to come in. And on a military situation, they were weaker than earlier, by 2003, 2004.
Yeah. So, no regrets looking back at that time at all?
No regrets.
About embarking upon such a process with an entity like the LTT?
As a result of it, the whole world came behind us. The present government would not have got the support they had in intelligence, in winding up the LTT networks in Europe and America, if not for what we started. We had no intelligence cooperation minimal before 2001. So once they have done that, and Prabhakaran himself had turned down a political solution, the government then had to see how they're going to tackle it.
We are drawing upon the end of the program, and perhaps to end on a lighter note, to know the person in so far as the political, to differentiate between the person and the political persona on stage. Could you tell us what you like to read and listen to, and maybe your favorite movie? I mean, what moves you in terms of the arts and culture and literature?
Well, I read anything.
Any particular passion for a genre?
No, I just read. I read on history, I read novels, I read...
Is it true that you are one of the few who actually frequents the parliamentary library the most often?
I don't go into the library that often, but I do get the books I want up to my room. But I have my own private library. Reading is certainly, and I read in English and Sinhalese. Only two languages that I know. Fiction, yes, novels, history, culture, economics, basically anything that comes along.
And only half it, just because it's such a again an emotive issue in the country. Do you believe in astrology? I mean, do you look at the stars to foretell your electoral outcomes and your prospects at the ballot?
Even in astrology, there seems to be stars and superstars now. They have become very commercial oriented. No, I know about it.
Yeah.
People tell me, but at the end of the day, I leave it to events to decide what's going to happen.
Mr. Wickramasinghe, thank you very much for joining us today on our program.
Thank you.